I'm Emil Damjanovich, owner of Dunn's Bar. I've owned it for 38 years. I've taken it over after my dad run it for 40 years. When my dad run the bar, beers was 5 cents a glass. He offered sandwiches or food along with the beer, such as pizza, sausage, anything you wanted. The neighbors would come in for buckets of beer, 15 cents, 2 bits, 40 cents, didn't matter. On 2nd Street, they had the Pioneer Club, the Pastime, the Miners Club, and the corner, I forget the name of the bar, but they were really busy. They was busy morning, noon, night. There was people in there all the time, and especially during the war, there were soldiers, soldiers, soldiers. I was taken into the Army in March of '41. I was stationed at Texas in 13 months, and directive came down. We moved to California. I meant to tell you, we moved to California, and the directive came down from Washington, and they asked for volunteers for the 10th Mountain Division. Well, I put in my application, and I was immediately chosen, and about a month later, I was transferred up to Fort Lewis, Washington, where I was one of the original 10th Mountain Division, about 250 men. It wasn't even a full regiment then. When we first got to Camp Hale, they thought that they could run us a mile every morning like they did at Holon, California, and it just didn't work. About 3 days, they had the hospitals full from the men that was running. They couldn't take the high altitude. And so they discontinued the running there immediately. The training was very rigorous, but I enjoyed it very much. We had maneuvers in the snow, we had ski drills, we trained at Cooper Hill. When we first got to Camp Hale, Leadville was off limits to military personnel, and so I finally got a pass from the colonel stating that I could go to Leadville because it was my home. And I no sooner hit the city limits when the MPs had me and asked me what I was doing there. I said, well, I'm authorized to be here. I've got a pass, about 5 pages long. And I showed it to him. God, I was never bothered so much in my life for 2 days. Every time I run into an MP, wanted to know what I was doing in town. And, well, about 3 months later, they put the town back on limits, and this town was just full of soldiers all the time. Leadville was glad to have the soldiers. It was a source of income for them. And we used to send, well, they used to send the girls out from Leadville to Camp Hale for USO dances and stuff. And they, in fact, some girls married some soldiers. And I think they got along really good, most of them. Camp Hale was never supposed to be dismantled. They got orders mixed up. They had a camp in Texas that was supposed to have been dismantled, and instead they dismantled this one at Camp Hale. And after they got to dismantling, it was too late.